Welcome to Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Sam Levitt's Furniture. I'm Star Sports Editor Ryan Finley, here with Greg Hansen. Greg, some basketball news broke. Ivan Rabb chose Cal over the University of Arizona late Monday night. Rabb is a Bay Area native. On paper, it makes sense. What do you make of the whole move?
If Quanzo Martin had not gotten him, it would have been, to me, a real blot on his ability to run a program. Mm-hmm. You have to get that guy. Right. He got him. And it shouldn't be a surprise.
Right, and he's a guy, too, if you look at Rabb, I mean, maybe you shouldn't, I think some fans tend to look at it through sort of their own prism. I would look at it through Ivan Rabb's prism. Yeah. He wants to be the guy at Cal. If he is the guy at Cal, he won't stay very long. At some point, the long-term success of their program is not entirely dependent on Ivan Rabb staying all 4 years. This will just showcase him for a short window of time, and then he can go pro.
I think it has a shelf life of 1 year. Mm-hmm. I think what Ivan Rabb does it or doesn't do at Cal has no lasting effect. Mm-hmm. I think that's the way college basketball is now.
Well, sure, and we've seen a little bit of that at Arizona. I mean, you know, Aaron Gordon 2 years ago, Stanley Johnson last year. I mean, these guys had effects, but they weren't necessarily game changers.
No, you've got to have more than one guy.
Yeah.
And you got to have it every year. That's what's so intriguing about Sean Miller. Mm-hmm. He's recruiting a pool of guys like Ivan Rabb all the time.
Right.
So if he loses one like Ivan Rabb, I know you pause and go, oh, too bad, but he's got 10 other guys like Ivan Rabb on the radar.
Well, sure, and you look at Arizona, I mean, this to me is the most interesting time of the basketball season. Yeah. You've got coaches coming and going, recruits coming and going, and really a guy like Sean Miller will find out maybe within the next 24 hours whether 2 of his 5 starters, including his leading scorer, are coming back. If they are all gone, where does he even start?
He starts with a lot of scores and no defense, which is
that's
the opposite of his program.
Right, yeah.
It'll be fun to watch. Next year is going to be really, really fun, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, Alonzo Trier is a guy who projects as a superstar kind of guy if he could stay a couple of years. And, you know, Ryan Anderson from Boston College will step in to Brandon Ashley's role. But, I mean, it's possible, Greg, that Arizona could open the season next year with 5 starters who we've never heard of.
And to me, here's a story inside the story. If Stanley Johnson leaves, does anybody really care? A guy question. That good?
I can't imagine that anybody would hold it against him.
No. But he's replaceable. There are guys like him. He averaged 13 points a game. I know his ceiling is huge, but in 1 year in college basketball, you don't get close to that ceiling.
Sure. Is this, Greg, and this is probably a different show, but recruiting 1 year guys to fill holes left by 1 year guys, is that tenable long term?
Man, well, the elite programs are doing it, and Arizona's been doing it with Mark Lyons and so on and so on. That's the way it is if you're elite.
Absolutely. Well, that'll do it for this episode of Greg Hansen's Video Notebook, brought to you by Sam Levitt's Furniture. For Greg Hansen, I'm Ryan Finley. We'll see you next time.